MD-UG.68.4 A dream that may be delusional. If you believe it, it seems superstitious. But if it tells you something really dangerous, what should you do? This dream came from the real person, Monkhorn, Owen, who made him dream to know for himself what he was doing and why. He made paper dolls in a cave with water, not to wash away bad things, but to use black magic. He did black magic in the water cave to use in a big ceremony on the day of the World Protection Festival. Doing black magic in the water should be a protection against things entering the person who did it. In this dream, Monkhorn made the real person the shaman who did this so that when he woke up, he would remember the dream because he was the one who did it. What did he do? Because the real person said that many times when he dreamed, if he was just an observer or witness, when he woke up, he often could not remember the story because it was not related to him at all. But this dream was very important. If he just saw it to tell people, if he woke up and could not remember it again, it would be a waste of merit to dream for nothing. Monkhorn had to find a way for him to dream so that when he woke up, he would remember it so that he could tell everyone. So he let him dream that he was the one who did the work. He would remember that part of it when he did it himself. When the dream was interpreted, the real person who knows is not a fortune teller in the real work that they are doing. They just want to tell. They just compare it to let them do it, in order to remember and understand those processes, and know the plan of the bad guys by themselves. And they remember everything when they wake up. They just don't know why they did that in the dream. But of course, the real person who is a real fortune teller knows well what they did and why they did it. This is the answer to why when telling a dream, the dreamer wonders why they did it in the dream, or what they did, but they are the ones who did it in the dream. Because in reality, in their waking life, they are not a fortune teller in real life. But what is important is that the children of Owen, when they know this dream, what will they think? What must be included in believing or not believing? Listen to this clip. You will have more wisdom. It will help you make decisions. #World Environment Day 2568 Buddhists who have black magic will be in danger if they come to the event in the evening. Is it true? Hello, the other day I released a clip. We must have listened to it. It is really an urgent and important matter. At first, I didn't know how important it was. Because if it was just a dream that the real person told me, if I didn't think about it in reality, what would the impact be? But when talking about it, the dream suddenly reflects the truth. If doing anything in the dream that the shaman produces some medicine and the goal is to use it in the ceremony that is a big black pipe and the process that goes through the white-robed saints that are green to some extent and then translates it all right. And try to think that everything that they paved to go to the biggest work that has never been organized before is the offering of alms to 40,000 temples. Meaning that if every temple in Thailand has tens of thousands of temples, they will all be given. I can't remember the exact number, but it's more than 40,000. And what must be taken as a point? A point that must be thought about, is this information unbelievable in any way? When in fact, the dream came from the method of O1 using Dhammakaya knowledge to let the virtuous have a dream and tell the story to let them know what will happen on the World Protection Day, year 01. 81 years old, but O1 is not in the temple and is not involved. But they will use this opportunity to create a big situation and plan in advance 6 months because they have to plan since the annual Kathan ceremony is over. They have to promote the event, speak to show its importance and use the pagoda as a medium to earn money from working on the Buddha image at the pagoda and will also use that as a spreading poison in a big event. There is only one event, which is World Earth Day, where all 40,000 monks from all the temples will be invited, which is the entire country's dioceses. If all the monks are gone, it means the religion is gone. It's something that if you don't think about it, it's like listening to a fairy tale. But if you think about it, it's a very big deal. The headline that it's a religious war is not an exaggeration. Let's think about what makes Islam seem so quiet. The people I've seen in the news about going after Islam were persecuted until they became quiet, right? And we hardly hear any news about Islam or Muslims. Must there be something going on? The main thing related to Islam is the South, right? The 4 southern border provinces of O1 initiated a project to make merit at 323 temples in 4 southern border provinces every year. O1 has been doing it continuously for more than 10 years now. It's said that until the South is calmer. The news in the South that there was killing of monks or persecution of Buddhists. I don't know if other friends have heard the news or if it has died down. But the most surprising thing is that the construction of pagodas in Patani and the construction of Patani Buddha Manthan during O1's time has shown no signs of progress. But aren't you surprised that they were built and invited to invite the relics to be enshrined in the pagoda, which was designed to be white with a large pagoda in the middle and 4 smaller pagodas. And they said that they were of 5 Buddhas, imitating the one at Bang Klam, Songkhla. If anyone doesn't know, I'll tell you that in fact, when I was teaching in kindergarten, I told them to build a pagoda at Bang Klam, saying that it was the point where Buddhists would be least at risk. In building that place, it's called the end of the southern region, the safest point. So that the pagoda wouldn't be risky. The pagoda of the god or goddess brought the lotus flower. Worshipping Buddha is a simple symbol that the lotus flower communicates the Buddha. O1 also said that even in hell, if the symbol is related to the Buddha, it will always be a lotus flower. Especially if we go to visit the Hell and Heaven exhibition at the Dek DV Star event held at the Maharatanawihan Kot some years, we will see a simulation of the Great Hell of Avicii, where people who have committed offenses against monks are tortured. How much torture will they be subjected to? As far as I can remember, that person will be punished by being tied up on a round platform in the shape of a blooming lotus flower with lotus petals on the edges, and he will be tied up in the middle and there will be a fire burning him all the time. If I remember correctly, he will not be able to escape from this round platform, or even being stuck between the square rafters like a window. Stuck from the anus through the mouth of a hell being and having to burn like that without dying. Or when lying down with his arms and legs spread out on the round platform in the shape of a large blooming lotus flower, his hands will be pierced with holes and locked down or something like that. Because I used my hand to destroy the Buddha image or something, I can't remember my past life karma 100% for sure. I remember things in more detail than that it was an insult to a monk or an insult to the Buddha, an insult to the Buddha without the hell being able to meet the Buddha in person. But there might have been verbal abuse or contempt or some act of insult. Can you remember the word insult? For example, if it was hitting, it's called insulting, right? If using your foot to step on it, it's called insulting, right? If using a body part to insult, that part will be tortured. And the point of torture for that hell being will be in the shape of a lotus flower. But if anyone makes merit and worships the Buddha, the good side, the sculpture in heaven will also be in the shape of a lotus flower, and it will be a pink lotus flower. O1 also confirms that in heaven there are no golden lotuses or white lotuses. There are only pink lotuses. This is the point that no one can remember, but I do. Therefore, when O1 confirmed this matter, it was the same as when O1 gave the reason why the pagoda that O1 wanted to be built all over Thailand, wanted it to be a lotus bud-shaped pagoda with a round base and not too big. O1 said to build a small pagoda but to have space for relatives and devotees to walk around the pagoda, practice Dhamma, and worship the Lord Buddha. Every pagoda will contain the relics of the Lord Buddha. O1 saw the image that should be done like that, or even the glass pagoda island in Wat Dhammakaya. If you look at this video, I took the Dhammakaya pilgrimage in 2020, not 2021, and it was a pilgrimage during the COVID period. And the temple used or pushed the Zoom system to broadcast to the audience. But the monks who walked the pilgrimage in January of that year, 2021, the monks will walk in the temple and will be able to remember the kindness of Luang Hu in each place they go. Here, it makes you see that the glass pagoda island in the shape of a lotus that O1 designed is beautiful pink, and in fact it will be completed in 2019. But when you see it in the broadcast of the pilgrimage in 2021, why did the pink lotus turn into gold? The color has changed to gold here, which is strange, and it is definitely not O1's idea. But what is the reason why it has to be gold, and what does the use of gold consist of? The only reason is that if I want something gold, it must have gold elements involved. There is nothing that can be mixed to be gold if gold is not used. This is my understanding. You can mix any color to make gold, I don't know. But I think the easiest way is that the color elements must come from gold ore, extracted or melted to mix into this color. I don't know how they did it, but it must have gold elements, which are very valuable. Trying to find a way to change the design on the lotus flower that is an old pink pagoda that is about to be completed. All that is left is to lift the lotus tier according to O1's design. And the lotus tier O1 raised funds that the host can own the lotus tier that is a bunch of umbrellas to the top of the pagoda. It must be gold with a gold tier. O1 didn't think that by the time the pagoda is finished, O1 will no longer be in the temple or that someone will change the design. So here, it confirms that there are people who take advantage of O1 from O1's command point, which I have already received information about. That O1 must leave the temple to protect the temple so that his children can live. If we really think about it, if O1 didn't decide to leave the temple that day and let them really break in, how do you think your children would feel if they caught O1? Would they accept it? I guarantee that they wouldn't accept it, right? Because I know that they have bad intentions for sure. They definitely don't mean well. There is a chance that they will cause an accident, a blood infection in the prison cell. Because there were many cases during that time that had problems with blood infections while they were in detention waiting for the prosecutor's office to work. So if O1 was there and didn't let him be arrested, and they broke in and closed the temple and chased him out, wouldn't he be happier? Wouldn't he feel better than today? If the events that are being warned about right now tell us that this year's World Earth Day will have a major poisoning, which means releasing black magic poison into the air, we have to breathe it. So whoever comes there, if they have black magic, will definitely be infected. And people who have accumulated black magic for a long time have a chance to die. So, how can you see it when explaining in retrospect? Many things that shouldn't be done, but why do many things that, when done, don't seem to have any benefit in the way of merit, but are forced to be done at that time? At this time, there must be a certain number of people. Let me know that you want to bring a lot of people for what? Not to gain merit like in the O1 era, but as there's some intention to bring people to be destroyed or not. In the past, it was like nothing, but in fact, there was a lot of black magic infection. Whoever came very often received a lot, and received it at a level that, think simply, monks came from 30,000 temples. If it were a monk who joined Zoom in that year, 2021, April, he received an invitation from a message claiming to be a message from O1 saying that he wanted to make merit with monks all over Thailand on O1's birthday. He wanted to make merit with the monks and invited the monks to join Zoom to chant together on screen on the night of World Earth Day. The intention was strange. That message was not O1's to say that. Like this, the person who would imitate O1's words, there was only one person who normally received O1's advice and sent it to the people involved. But what was written as O1's advice? The words used will reflect the writer's heart. It cannot be hidden, written with similar words. But the number of words and the arrangement and invitation cannot show transparency or credibility because it came from a heart that was greedy and intended to want something from that invitation. The style may seem similar to O1's style, but the arrangement of words used in sentences that were put together to be stories and what you want to do with encouragement or encouragement will be too much. I know. There is no need for detailed Dhamma. Just listen to Dhamma from O1 often, you will know the style and style of O1. When O1 invites or says something strange or something that I seem to say jokingly or jokingly, but in that tone, there will be some kind of mental communication that tells you that I am not joking. The words sound like joking, but they are true and every word is true. O1 will not mix in untrue words. However, if we do not listen carefully, we will think that O1 is joking and it will become a joke that O1's big secretary has been writing and using all along. Whether we should believe it or not, it doesn't matter. But he really did it because no one else dared to do it. But did he do it by pointing his finger and telling him to do it or not? That is another matter. The person who pointed his finger and told him what to do must have some level of greed. Otherwise, the language, idioms, and sentence structure would not indicate such greed. The use of words would not indicate the coarseness of the words. Sometimes he thinks it is easy to imitate, but it is not easy. But he probably does not care whether anyone believes or not. As long as anyone tries to catch him, they will not find him. Therefore, he is not afraid. But he knows that most people are more afraid that they will not make merit. And if they are afraid of forgetting, not believing, they will not make merit. They are afraid that if it is real merit, they will lose merit and regret it because they do not know that the result of doing something that is not real merit. What will happen to the merit they have? If the understanding of people is not knowledgeable, they will think that if there is real sin, I have made merit and my heart is pure, I don't have to care about it. Whoever wants to commit sin, let me keep my heart pure, I will be safe. Part of it is to understand the meaning and how pure is it. Is it pure to the point where you can see the Buddha in you all the time? If it is pure to that level, there will be no karma here, but you will not gain merit. You have to distinguish between gaining sin and not gaining sin but not gaining merit. It is not like you will gain merit if you do not sin. It is not a two-sided coin. There is a reason. If the situation is sinful because the initial intention is sinful, but using a person with merit who does not know anything to do a familiar form of merit making in the hope that people who are familiar with merit making will come to do it, they will not feel anything unusual. It will be the same as the merit making they have done before. They think that if they have pure hearts, they must gain merit because they are doing merit making. This is where people who do not know can only think this much. But in reality, what happens is not like that because whenever the merit making ceremony starts from a sinful intention. What is the sinful intention? That is, the intention is to take money, gold, and the difference in the cost of everything organized for the event. For example, if the event is very big and you have to send people to train outside the venue, you have to arrange for transportation costs, food costs, living costs. The difference that occurs with these things that will make some groups of people try to use this part as income. If you don't organize the event, there will be no income. Can you imagine why they have to transport merit leaders to attend seminars outside the venue so much that the merit leaders don't have to pay? In the past, there was Fanawat who said that it was a scholarship 0101 to give to them to practice Dhamma and then they were satisfied and enlightened. When talking about the merit of Kathan, what to do? The heart will be open and there will be no stinginess. Then they will see the opportunity that it is a great merit for themselves to come down and act as a merit leader or to be a host on a large scale. They can do it because their hearts are open because of the Dhamma that sits in the seat, sits and sits, the light will have a connection for the merit to occur. That was at that time. But these days, for many years, if there is a great merit that requires taking merit leaders to practice Dhamma outside the venue, such as Khao Yai or whatever, in order to use merit leaders, we have to use the policies and guidelines that were used when using Phanawat, but use them with new merit leaders. The process is the same, but what happens is not the same. Because the beginning of the merit project has a different intention. If it was during the time of O1, the intention to make merit was to make merit and do something with it. It was clear that O1 would control the merit. But when O1 was gone, what happened was that he would cite some words of advice as if they belonged to O1 but did not sign them to tie up the person who released them. And the monk who was a person of merit who used to speak when O1 was the leader of merit, the monk also spoke the same as when O1 was the leader. But it has changed. When O1 was gone, they did not accept the information that O1 would tell through the hidden dragon because the opposing side has already dominated everything. Why would they let him know? Because if they did, the monks would not work for him. In the beginning, each monk must have been confused as well. But now, I see that they are cooperating very well. I see that the turning point that happened clearly was at the end of 2018 when O6 returned to be the vice chairman of the temple's executive committee. What O6 did that he did not tell anyone but the hidden dragon told the person who really knew was to cut off the rights of those who did not want him and use a strong and firm approach to decisively announce that they would not give it, which people knew directly. On the night of the Kathan ceremony, it was finished on November 4, 2018. That night, O6 met as the president of the monks and announced sternly that he should go and deal with those who did not accept him, to clear them all up. Not to let them stay in the temple and become a thorn in their side. If anyone agreed to go willingly, let them go, but if they did not agree to go and did not want to be with them, they would have to be tough. The words, "If you do not leave, you will die." This is a phrase that he liked to use and many people said. I have heard it before. He liked to say, think about it. If O1 is not here, how will you live? And do you want to live and build merit tomorrow? Or do you choose to end your life today? Words like this mean that if you do not accept me now, you will die. But if you accept me now, you can still build merit tomorrow. The word death can be of two kinds, death from building merit. Here, he will not let you stay at the temple. But if you do not go, he will have a way to make you disappear from here. That is, if you do not agree to leave, you will have to die. This really happened. It really happened. He announced it for many years. People have seen him say this. Even O2 saw him say this in a meeting during O1. Organizing free monk ordination throughout Thailand in 2009, 2010, and so on. In 2011, there were problems with some areas that did not support or cooperate in allowing the use of temples for ordination. When the team of laywomen or the temple staff went to contact them anywhere and had problems and obstacles, they would bring it to the meeting to discuss how to solve the problem. The coordinators or laywomen in the area who had the same heart as O1 would not give up on backing down because they considered that O1's goal was already a completed plan that must be successful. If that was an obstacle, they would find another place to support and propose that they should use Wat Phra Dhammakaya to support the center that the temple did not open or accept. Which should be a good proposal. It seemed that the meeting agreed, but only O6 broke through the middle of the fortress and said that it could not be done like that. They did not agree. They thought that no matter what they said, the team that proposed this method, they waited for the president of the monks, which was O2, to say what they wanted. Because I believe that O2 has the same heart as O1, so I must know how to build merit. When O1 was still the leader, I must have known what to do and we should have agreed, right? But it turned out that I heard O2 say, O6, just follow him. It turned out like that. And it made the team lose their spirit. That O1 was still here, but why did O2 give in to O6? And O6 had the power to say that they wanted to do what they wanted in many departments, many zones, many provinces, etc. O6 changed the system because O6 volunteered to O1 that O6 would help set up the system so that the ordination of monks throughout Thailand under O1's project would achieve the goal of ordaining 1,000,000 monks throughout Thailand. O6 proposed this, and O1 was okay with it. At that time, it was 2011. After 2010, O6 was the one who ordered all districts not to cooperate with O1's project. And these words came from the coordinator who I encountered myself. I sent the people I invited to ordain. After I heard O1 speak at school that I would do this project, I was allowed to invite them. And when will the ordination be? We alerted each other and invited each other, but when it was time to bring people to apply for ordination, I asked the department, but the department didn't care. Then, one of the coordinators casually said that O1 was not doing the right thing and shouldn't have brought the new project to discuss in the school instead of talking to the committee in the meeting. First, when we have mutual approval, we can order the work down in order. The coordinators won't sit and wonder why the coordinators should be the ones to announce the merit. But why did the host who brought the merit come to demand the work and chase the work like this, when the coordinators don't know anything? This kind of speech shows wrong view. And speaking out shows that they agree and have been brainwashed by O6. And not cooperating and not working on the project that O1 announced through the school without telling the committee first. Not going through the meeting first. And about this matter, with the curiosity of a person who really knows, when entering the school, O1 explained that O1 was tired of going to the meeting and only hearing various excuses that concluded that they wouldn't do it, wasting O1's time. The religious work can't wait. So O1 had to drive it down through the kindergarten, and the kindergarten students responded and helped do it. And every project was successful. When it was successful, O1 cheered that if the goal was expanded to this point, if it could be done, we would treat boat noodles, treat bananas. O1 said it jokingly, but O1 said O1 would really treat. But when O1 was going to treat the host, he offered to be the host himself. O1 was happy to do so because it would be an inspiration to complete the merit-making work. When there was merit, he would come to eat O1's boat noodles. He would come to eat O1's bananas like this. It's a reward. That is, he had already made merit, so he would get a reward. Why do I have to talk about this? Because I saw in the news that there was an invitation for the host to be the host of a boat noodles and ripe bananas. The merit leader who would come to the seminar for the event of protecting the world to offer alms to 40,000 temples. Isn't it strange? Inviting people to be the host of a boat noodles and bananas. If it's a merit leader or host, like I'm familiar with hearing O1 like to do this, then alert that this must be O1's idea for sure. It makes me even more confident that it's definitely O1's project. So I have to explain that it's not true. It's not like what I said earlier that O1 used to treat boat noodles and bananas. O1 will treat myself, but treat when you have finished your work. You can gain merit with yourself. O1 will treat, but not by letting the host treat so that the merit leader can go to work. No, because of what? The person who will go to do the duty. They must strive to gain merit themselves. When they have finished, O1 will treat. Because I saw the invitation to be the host to treat the 10,000 merit leaders who will have a seminar on Saturday, March 1st, accusing that the owner of the event is not O1, but someone else who wants to use the merit leader to work and will not pay a single baht for the host to treat the merit leader themselves. It is using the format that saints may be familiar with but have forgotten how to do it. At that time, there was a boat noodle eating, so why was there a banana issue? When these two issues arise, it is similar or will be used as O1 said, but the essence is like this. If it is O1, O1 will let the hosts feed only when everyone has successfully made merit. If there is a seminar, the temple will feed itself. O1 will use the temple's money. Let the merit leaders not worry about food and drink. Go work and make merit to the fullest. That way, O1 will get merit from the beginning, both being the one who tells and gives encouragement, so that everyone can do their duty and come back to celebrate. When celebrating, the hosts will come to feed. Do you see that it is opposite? We don't have to think too much. If O1's method is the right view, the opposite method. On similar pieces of work or similar objects used to feed, but the timing is different, when it goes opposite, it is immediately wrong view. If a saint is not sensitive enough, he will not understand this matter, right? And in the temple, using the similarity, trick the hosts into devoting themselves to finding ways to feed the merit leaders. Therefore, this point, which is the second point that tells us that this working group is wrong view. And it is definitely not O1. As for whether O1 will have a twin or not, why do you think that there is a twin O1? This is not my own thought. The real person dreams, and if he dreams, it is the dragon or the real O1 who let him dream to tell what will happen. So about the twin O1. The real person has already dreamed and knows in the dream that this is the person who came to disguise, the godfather of sorcery. And it matches the information from the former old female lay disciple who used to make a program on YouTube to make predictions about Nostradamus. She saw it herself. But it wasn't that she saw the fake O1, but she met someone who spoke or showed that there was O1 in the temple. But she never met him herself. But she is sure that O2 met him. And the news that came out in the manner that O1 has Alzheimer's like this, if you don't think about it, how can O1 suddenly have it? But if you think about it, by reason and logic, it is impossible. Since O1 is a Dhammakaya monk all the time, O1 will never have a fraction of the karma that will send O1 to have Alzheimer's. And who will have Alzheimer's? They must be people who have the karma of lying and deceiving others. But O1 only has the truth and the element of pure Dhamma. Therefore, O1 definitely did not break the precepts. There is no chance that O1 will have a piece of bad karma that will cause Alzheimer's. But what was said like that, if O2 was the one who said it? It means that O2 met the fake and said something that I heard. I am sure that he did not let them meet the real person by sitting and holding hands. But it should be a video call because there are limitations and he can claim that the case is not closed yet, there is still a crime. If they meet in person, there will be a problem. If the authorities find out, they will bring DSI to arrest. Therefore, he will not do that because it is risky. But in reality, it is an excuse that he does not want the fake to meet people before the right time. That is, if he is not sure that the fake is the same. Now, at O2's level, he considers himself the closest to O1. Therefore, O2 should have a chance to find a way to meet O1 and talk through the screen. When someone contacts him through this video, it is more likely that O2 will say something or suddenly the fake O1 will say something that makes O2 feel that, hey, O1 shouldn't have said that. Because at that time, it was like this or that. O1 forgot about this or that. Then O2 asked and tested many things, and it turned out that O1 couldn't remember. The things he said, he couldn't remember. How many things did O2 have to try to make someone like O2 believe that O1 couldn't remember everything? If it's not Alzheimer's, what would it be? But he didn't suspect that it was a fake or not. It shows that he really talked to him through the screen. It matches the story using I with an application that was seen in the WorkPoint face-off program, a fraternal twin. It's like the person who came through the camera and talked to him. If he had practiced imitating O1's gestures and actions for a long time, he would have a chance to imitate very well. It's like when someone is a fan of an artist or celebrity and likes them very much, they will remember their personality, gestures, way of speaking, or how they move their face and eyes. It's the same for people who will be fake or O1's twin. They must have spent a lot of time watching videos from O1 teaching in school. In addition to gaining knowledge, they will also remember gestures and actions. And if they practice well enough, when they go through the system that uses O1's face and voice to overlay, O1 will only see the upper part of his face and a little bit of his neck and shoulders. It's similar. If the voice is in the program, it's also O1's voice. If you practice speaking in the same rhythm, the sound will be exactly the same. You will become O1 if you can act smoothly because the similarity is already the same. If you can act smoothly, the person who acts may not act smoothly if they meet a monk in a temple who normally would not dare to look at O1. There is no way to know if O1 is similar or not. This is different from the host who, when looking at O1, will look at the facial expressions and gestures because the host must observe first before having faith how trustworthy this person is, or what kind of personality he has. At that time, the host will observe in great detail and will be more familiar with the true O1. The host will know more than the merit leader who is steadfast in the mission that O1 has given, no matter what he will follow him. He is usually a merit leader who has observed and caught O1's faults. He does not find faults but only good things. He will remember that the gestures, facial expressions, eye contact, and words will be conveyed through the heart and will know how clean this heart is. Therefore, being a host and being a district in detail in this matter are different. And especially the district in which he is afraid of O1's power, he will not dare to look at his face or even dare to look at his face. There is no way to know if the facial expression that comes out here is the voice or the face. As for whether the facial expression or gestures are different, he doesn't know if they are different because he has never noticed. But what a type O2 person will know. It is the story that we have learned together, that we have known each other since the first time we met before we were ordained. If O2 can remember everything, but some things the second of may remember some things and some things but most of them cannot be forgotten. Because if he can remember, there is no need to test him. Just from the words, he will know whether it is true or not. But if it is to the point of releasing news that he cannot meet the relatives or the laity because he is afraid that the relatives or the laity will lose faith for nothing, what does this mean? It means that even if the voice is right, the face is right, but what is said shows an empty heart. If the knowledge cannot be remembered, if it is fake, he will not remember anything. It makes sense, right? That O2 will claim that O1 has Alzheimer's and cannot let him come out, but O2 does not say anything anymore. O2 only said that if O1 is let out, he will chase O2 out of the temple because he thinks O2 is playing the stock market, which O2 is not a person who likes to lie. Therefore, those words must have come from the fake O1. Did he say that? Through O6, that O6 often told O2 that when O6 was chased out, it was because he played the stock market. As I said before, O6 will not tell the whole truth. And O2 definitely does not agree with using money to invest in stocks. We must know that O2 is a good person, a very good monk, and will not do wrong. Therefore, O2 must know that using temple money to invest in stocks is definitely wrong. Do you think that a person like O6 does not know? Then why would O6 tell the truth? O6 just said that he used money to invest in stocks. And it happened that O2 also invested in stocks. It became a matter that O2 was afraid that O1 would kick him out of the temple as well. And if you add to the conversation, it is very possible that O2 heard some words from the fake O1 through the camera. And they said words as if they did not know each other before. As if they had forgotten what O2 was really like. It might be a matter of pride or something like that. People who are very close to each other must know that this is a sensitive matter for O2. She must not affect me in this matter. But it happened that the fake O1 affected this matter, causing O2 to be very dissatisfied or even to develop a hatred for it. That was the reason why O2 decided not to close the case and let O1 come out, because there was already hatred for O1. O2 was worried that if O1 came out, the relatives and followers would definitely lose faith in the temple, etc. There were many reasons, but O2 did not say anything. But it meant that O2 would not let O1 come out again, because the faith that O2 used to have with O1 had already disappeared. That's more like it. And this is the point that can be analyzed, that the real O1 is not in the temple, but the O1 in the temple, the person that O2 talked to, is definitely a fake. And the fake O1 that people can believe must look like and sound like O1. And it's the same, that if the fake is trained to be like the real one, he will remember all the stories that O1 has ever said. How is that possible? When someone with Dhammakaya knowledge like O1 never remembers, just look at the middle of the body, the Buddha within will tell you everything. O1 once said that O1 never remembers because he doesn't have to remember, the Buddha within will tell you everything. Just look and you will know everything. He doesn't just know this, but also knows the past lives and future lives. Like this, when a person comes to pay respect to O1, O1 sees everything from how this person has been and what will happen next. Seeing it in a flash. I already know everything. No need to remember. So O1 never remembers anything. But it's not that O1 forgot. It's just that O1 didn't remember. The real O1 has said it before. So, not being able to remember doesn't mean it's Alzheimer's. But if anyone asks O1, O1 can find the answer. So there's definitely no mistake. But the fact that O2 can release the news that O1 has Alzheimer's must show that O1, the people in the temple right now, can't remember anything. And it must be a very important matter that makes O2 conclude that O1 definitely has Alzheimer's. Then why doesn't O2 think that this is a fake? The reason is that he saw it face to face. The face is right, the voice is right, and the way he speaks is right. So, he didn't think that it was a fake. Another thing, don't forget that the temple doesn't sit and watch WorkPoint like us. The temple people who stay at home. The temple doesn't have any TV programs to watch. So, the monks wouldn't know. Because the eye that can make people twins has only been out for less than a year. So, the monks in the temple wouldn't know. They wouldn't know what level they're at, whether it's Luang Phi Mu or Luang Phi Rock or whoever is doing their duty. Being a strong merit leader now, he invited to organize a seminar and told us strongly that he would bring the great merit of offering 40,000 temples. We have talked about it since Khao Yai for many generations, practicing since 30,000 temples to join the Kathan ceremony last year. And then we teamed up to do it continuously, making it bigger and bigger until we are very confident. Now we dare to push it to 40,000 temples, and will be the one to drive the Merit Leader seminar by myself. Luang Phi Mu is very confident to be the leader in inviting to create big merit like this. This is the second year after last year. You will notice that in the first years that Luang Phi Mu came to be the abbot, that year O1 was charged with evading the arrest warrant, which was 2017. Then we had to appoint a new abbot and O1 gave the name of Luang Phi Mu. At that time, Luang Phi Mu did not dare. But believe it or not, there were people who saw him and were confident that he was a regular. That is, O1's big secretary who went to accompany and have lunch with Luang Phi Mu every Buddhist holy day. There are many ways to look at it, because on Buddhist holy days, relatives and laypeople will go to the temple, and will come to make merit a lot when Luang Phi Mu is the new abbot. People who used to come to the temple regularly also come to make merit with O1 on Buddhist holy days. Then you have to change to make merit with the new abbot, right? So O1's secretary has to go and wait there to perform the same duties as when he used to work with O1. He will do the same for the new abbot. So every Buddhist holy day, O1's secretary will always come to have lunch with Abbot Mu and we will talk. During the period in 2018, there was a group of hosts who came together to chase O6 worms out of the temple. It was a period when Luang Fai Mu had not been in the position for long. He did not want to do anything and did not know how to deal with these matters. It is not strange, right, that O1's secretary would use her experience of working with O1 in every situation to volunteer for Abbot Mu to help deal with this matter. If you want to handle it yourself like this, you won't have to worry. Abbot Mu would probably agree, right? Because in the past, when O1 was the abbot, he already had this person as his secretary. So Abbot Mu trusted him to take over the duty instead. So it became a matter that no matter what, the worm-chasing group sent a letter to request an investigation of the 7 monks with that name, or what they went to. It wouldn't reach Abbot Mu. So who would it be with? Can you guess? It would have to go to the big secretary. That's the reason he volunteered to make it trustworthy. Because he wanted to control everything to be in a form that they could manage. Since he had managed O1 and couldn't order anything around, he had to control this side so that it wouldn't become part of his opposing side. This is a possibility. We are outsiders to the temple, but I am O1's disciple. What I can use are teachings, wisdom, and reason. I can use reason to consider the reality to see where the reason is. And anything that is abnormal is abnormal. And if there is a possibility at any point, why is it all logical? This is what makes me confident that the real O1 is not in the real temple, as Mongkorn Sun Kai said. But if anyone doesn't believe this, let's look at it logically. The big secretary is the one who manages everything for O1. In terms of the rough aspect, O1 doesn't use his sixth sense with the monks and laypeople in the inner area. He is like an ordinary monk to them. They are close to each other. They gossip about something in their hearts. O1 doesn't know yet. It makes them feel confident. And O1 has made a promise. When he made a promise, O1 never breaks the promise. That's why I said that O1's precepts are very pure. O1 said he wouldn't check, but he didn't. But if something happens, O1 will only be able to reach him when the laypeople in the outer area encounter problems and can enter O1's sixth sense, because those laypeople are good people who practice Dhamma well or something. Like that, O1 will know when O1 uses his sixth sense to look. But when O1 sees something in detail, O1 still doesn't take any action until a report is made according to the procedure. If the procedure is not normal and too blocked, O1 will find a way to get to O1. If the matter has to reach O1, O1 must really be fixed. O1 knows there is nothing that O1 can leave unsaid. Therefore, it is not that O1 is not good, it is not that O1 trusts the wrong person or O1 is wrongly confident. We have to look at the cause and effect, and the result is according to each person's karma. And it is also teaching children to know how to use their intelligence, know how to think wisely, because building merit is something that must be built by oneself. Merit is the 10 aspects of merit at a level that must have the goal of becoming a Buddha in the future. People still do not understand what the ultimate Dhamma is. The ultimate Dhamma is the last life that must have a gross body, which is the 32 characteristics of a great man, complete, coming down to be born together and having the same physical form. And being able to practice Dhamma to reach the Dhammakaya, which is a Dhammakaya that overlaps the gross body that is close together without gaps. The merit must be that much. And to have the characteristics of a great man, it comes from accumulating the 30 aspects of merit to the fullest, then being born as a human being with a great man's body like the Buddha. But O1 has made a shortcut by creating a personal Dhammakaya. Creating many Buddha images with the characteristics of a great man is also the accumulation of causes for obtaining such a physical body. Moreover, in the era when the physical body is the personal Dhammakaya, But when O1 prays for nirvana, the overlapping is like making merit with the living Buddha. Do you remember that O1 used to say that if the mind is equally devoted, the merit will be equal? This means that if we make merit with the Buddha during the Buddha's time and we have faith at that time, and if at this time we do not have the real Buddha, but our mind remembers the real Buddha as if he is still in front of us, there must be a cause, which is to have the physical characteristics of a great man like the real Buddha. The most similar to make us have faith like that, like meeting the real one. And our mind remembers, but in the meaning of O1. You will immediately reach the real Buddha when you reach the Dhammakaya within yourself, clearly seen at the time of making merit, that is, meeting the Buddha who is the Tathagata. The real Dhammakaya, the mind will automatically have faith. Faith to the point of seeing the Dhammakaya within yourself is seeing the Buddha within yourself at that time. Even if you get the same merit as when you make merit with the real Buddha during the Buddha's time, and what are the results? If anyone listens to the Dhamma a lot, they will remember that if they have the opportunity to make merit with the real Buddha, the merit will occur immediately. Gems or the treasures of the emperor will not be lacking or anything like that. It will occur miraculously immediately because you make merit with the Buddha with faith. It is like that. Therefore, those who reach the Dhammakaya within themselves are those who seem to have made merit with the Buddha in the right place, the real Buddha. However, the real Buddha is within everyone. Therefore, when anyone reaches the Buddha within themselves and sees the Buddha within themselves while accumulating merit, they will have merit that is fast and strong, immediately and miraculously. It is not different from the truth that was told during the Buddha's time. O1, the story and transmission are like this. And you have to use a fair amount of wisdom to understand this matter. Then practice to reach the point as fast as possible. When you go to accumulate merit, you will gain merit very quickly and strongly. It is not wrong. Now, think about it. Some people used to wonder why. If making merit with the Buddha during the Buddha's time also gave such miraculous treasures, why no matter how much we make merit, we do not have such miraculous merit results? O1 once said that there is one reason, which is that we have not yet defeated him. The word victory means that within ourselves we have not yet defeated him and have not yet reached the Buddha within. But it is not our own fault. O1 sees that there is something that makes it impossible to reach him, which is that the opposing side or the devil will obstruct by using the cause of our past karma, whether it be in a past life or in the present. If the devil can catch a little bit of what we have done wrong in breaking the 5 precepts, whether it is one or many, or on some occasions, intentionally or unintentionally, as long as there is a fraction that the devil finds, he can take it, add it, supplement it, and make it grow to obstruct us from reaching the Buddha within. Whoever has done what causes, no matter how much karma, he can come and add more at O1. Use the word vipaka mara. That is because we are the side that is subduing, coming to fight the devil. The devil does not have to have conditions. If we are the side that is favored, there will be conditions that we agree on. The devil will not come to obstruct or interfere when we do good deeds because we follow the side that is favored or will enter nirvana, not to subdue the devil. But if anyone comes to the side that is subduing, the devil will consider us as his enemy because we will come to subdue him. Why would he let go? There will be a lot of obstruction. Therefore, this is knowledge that O1 has talked about. But will anyone remember it and be able to win for themselves? Or if while we have not defeated him, can we protect our hearts? If we understand the story, we will be able to protect our hearts, right? If we understand the reason for this matter, our minds will be calm. When we encounter problems, we will not be so agitated. O1 said that when faced with economic situations, it will be affected but not shaken if our minds truly understand and know, even if we have not yet reached the Buddha within ourselves. we will be able to deal with such situations. It is a delicate matter, but not beyond the ability of those who truly intend to practice and have intentionally listened to the Dhamma from O1 and memorized what O1 taught. It will be a subject that can be used throughout the nation and can be used in every lifetime. Now, when I have talked about this point, I have talked about many things already. I think today, there are at least 2 to 3 points of information that may answer or clarify the doubts of some people who have just listened and are still not sure whether they can believe it or not. First, is it true that the merit created is not merit because of the initial sinful intention? This has already been said. Second, the intention of those who control power has sinful intention because whatever they think of doing is contrary to everything O1 has ever said. Therefore, those who are kindergarten students who have listened to O1's Dhamma a lot will definitely agree with this matter, because when they have encountered many matters that are completely contrary on the same story but speaking from different sides like this, it is just that if people are not clear and do not understand the principle, they may think that they are the same and just follow along because of the fear of losing merit. But the result is that when it is a sinful work that creates a form like merit, it does not make you gain merit, but also makes you abandon the merit you have. You have to abandon it before you can get sin. They are on different sides. If you do not understand, you have to figure out that the black side is already on the opposite side. If you are going to make merit, you volunteer to live in the white city. You have to abandon all black in order to enter the white city. When you enter the white city and you get white, you must not touch the black city. But if someone makes a fake door in front of the black city, saying that it is a white city, but inside it is a black city, but you do not know. When you are going to walk through this door, you do not know. But inside it is subtle, there are its rules. They know. Your merit will disappear from your body like taking off your clothes, because you are going to enter a new city that you think is also a white city. And if by chance the black side comes to stay in the original place of the white side, you will not notice that there is something wrong or not. You walk in to accumulate merit as usual, thinking that you are going to get merit like every time. But in reality, the subtle side, all the merit that you have with you will be removed, because the truth is that you are going to get black sinful stars, that is, to get sin. In the subtle side, it will be clear like that. But in the gross side, if we do not have the Dhamma eye, we will not see it, so we will not know. Then ask yourself, if all this is true since 2019, every new project that announces a new name, expands and grows bigger, worships Dhamma O1, no matter how many years, has O6 controlling and inviting to do it, with the intention of sin from the beginning. It makes everyone abandon the merit that they made in O1, really, and then go to take sin. It has been like that all along. But when it comes to the merit of the first Sunday of the month, worshipping rice to the Buddha, you all know that worshipping rice to the Buddha at the beginning of the month is a very important merit that cannot be missed. You will come to take merit, that is, you will take the white merit. In detail, you will abandon the black sin and come to the white city to receive more white merit. But after that, there is a project from the side of sinful intention inviting to do it again. You will abandon the merit to take more sin, but you do not know, because the same city. You want more merit, can you say that it is greed? Greed that blinds the eyes. Wanting merit so much that you lack the wisdom to learn that merit does not only have the form that you think, but merit consists of the initial intention as the main principle. Then how can you overlook this intention? Do you not have wisdom? Or do you not have knowledge? And if someone with knowledge tells you, you should listen and consider it carefully. If you cannot have the eye of Dhamma, then if you do not want to believe in good friends, and you want to build merits following Luang Pu Sad, Grandma Chan, and Luang Fa Dhammajayo, you must not risk throwing away merit to take sins that you cannot see. For the merits that you are sure are definitely merits, such as the merit of offering rice to the Buddha every first Sunday of the month, you only go to take that merit. As for other merits, whoever invites you again, no matter how similar the appearance or form is, if you cannot know who initiated it, which at this time you already know is O6, who seized the power to manage the temple and gave the benefits to the purple princess. O6's intention was wrong viewing from the beginning. Otherwise, O1 would not have chased him away from the temple forever and not let him come back. You may not have known before, but now you do. Any new merits that are bigger than before that O1 never did, you must not do them, because you have to prepare yourself that if it is not merit, it is like throwing away all the merits. Since merits are what lie behind happiness and success in human life. Only merits. And you throw them away to take sins that you thought were merits and you were not sure if they were real merits. It turns out that you threw away the merits that you really had. That is, leaving the happiness and prosperity that you are ready to have at the level of returning to Dusapuri as a resting place and on the path to the ultimate truth. To get the black sin that you are not sure if it is merit or not, but when you get it, that black sin will result in suffering, sorrow, illness, disaster, or karma that will come to affect you. It is the opposite of this. If you do not know now what is happening to you, you have to consider it. If you are lucky and have merit now to listen to this story, it is time for you to consider back to what you have done in the past 5 to 6 years, and have you encountered any problems in life? Have you prospered more? You have definitely made more merit. If you were a saint in the time when O1 invited you to make merit without stopping, the merit has started to bear fruit. You will have happiness and prosperity in the past several years, and you will be able to make merit as much as you have never done before because you have money and are rich. But you do not notice that you make merit, but it does not help you to be more prosperous, or you may have more problems than before. Do you not suspect more? You have to try to check yourself here. If you are going to consider whether this information is believable or not, try to consider it. But if you want to make it easy, believe me that the information I am talking about comes from the real O1. O1 has taught me before. If there is anything that O1 tells me to tell me, through a real expert, I will not doubt it because it is consistent with what O1 has given me knowledge. Therefore, even if I do not know that, I have not seen or heard that it is O1, but what is exactly as O1 said, it shows that it is the same person. It is still better than believing what the temple said, but the results, the invitations that occurred are not consistent with being O1. Then how can you believe that it is O1? Therefore, here, I confirm that there is no O1 in the temple. It is clear that on February 2nd, 2019, O1 left the temple. O1 left so that the temple will still exist and the temple people will still exist. A moment ago, I said a small problem that if O1 did not go at that time and O1 just disappeared, and the authorities could not catch O1, and the authorities closed the temple people were all abandoned from the temple. This means that the monks and laypeople in the area would have to disrobe. There would be no more temples to make merit. Wouldn't that be better? The temple people just have nothing to eat and nowhere to live, which may be difficult for a while. But what happened was that your merit is still there. The merit that you have with you is not damaged. When you still have merit, you can still do many new things. At least you will definitely still be alive with the merit of taking care of monks. Making merit, having merit to have a place to live, a place to eat, a place to sleep. Being a good friend, you must have friends for sure. Because you have merit, it turns out that if O1 knew this, if it were me at that time, I would have fought to let him take over the temple, kicked him out and seized his belongings. At least the merit that I had built with O1 throughout my life would still be with me, and I would not be tempted to lose it all like today. But at that time, the stake was that O1 still believed in the hidden dragon and the information of the Dharma. The children who are the children of O1, who are truly the ones who create merit, would definitely be happy to listen to information from good friends. They would have to have the wisdom to distinguish whether what came from the hidden dragon was really O1 or not. O1 believed that from the content and stories that were told. The children would definitely believe it if they listened and read it. But O1 didn't think that if the O6 side blocked them from knowing or listening. O1 wouldn't believe either that the children O1 would not listen. They would not have to know. Just because they were afraid that they would have to leave the temple or would not be able to come to the temple again. This is where O1 didn't expect that the merit makers who O1 thought had more than 100 hearts were actually afraid of only this kind of thing. And some people are afraid of not making merit. Not anything. They are addicted to the desire to be in the spotlight, to walk on the red carpet, to show off, to make people proud and proud of themselves. Not proud of making merit, but proud of walking and showing people that I'm rich and I can do it. This is a fine line, but it becomes a frightening familiarity. Some people go and walk and some photographers come and take pictures of them on the screen, and they feel addicted. They come to make merit to gain face or to be honored and respected. Some people admire them as angels or heavenly beings, etc. They are so obsessed with that they think that if they don't go to the temple to make merit again, they won't receive that pride. This is a misunderstanding of merit. But there are quite a few who are like this, the hosts of the temple. Now it's hard to talk because in many merit-making events over the years. The previous clip already said that O6 used black magic in every episode. He intended to take O1's children as his own. In the past, O1 had Dhammakaya knowledge to attract everyone to make merit for O1. O6 didn't have Dhammakaya knowledge, but he had black magic, so he was able to use it. Black magic lures everyone to be his followers. He also knew from the principles taught by O1 that if a person does not have black magic before, no matter who practices black magic, they will not be tricked and cannot be drawn in. They must find a specific way to trick them into becoming followers of black magic. He did this by passing through the 24 Buddhas as a starting point. At first, they cultivated the germs in the air through the gold leaf, the glory covering the dome first. Then, their side chanted mantras with the pagoda all the time so that people would come to worship the pagoda and they would continuously receive black magic as a germ. Then, when they came to make merit by placing gold leaf with the names inscribed on it to create the 24 Buddhas, wow, they received 24 times the black magic. You became a willing disciple of black magic. Then, when you came to create another large Buddha statue, a golden Buddha with black hair, which is a demonic Buddha, you placed the gold leaf and created it elegantly, believing that it was the Buddha statue of O1. If just the words belongs to O1 made everyone blind, thoughtless, and rushed to invest money to make merit, just to follow O1 with this method. It is a mistake in learning to be a merit maker. It's not right. You have become an investor who will choose the easy way. You don't listen to the Dharma, but you take the easy way if the temple says so. And you have made merit with O1 and received it. Therefore, now, if the temple claims O1, don't think too much. Bring everything and put it down, becoming an investor and not a merit maker. This makes people overlook important principles or not even have knowledge. Then they get stuck in delusion, stuck in bows, stuck in praise, announced names, etc. These are all defilements. Ask if O1 can prohibit these things. O1 doesn't prohibit them because it is a natural process. Because everyone has defilements before. When they come, they won't be asked to take off their clothes to receive purity. It has to be done gradually. Let them voluntarily take off their black clothes and wear white clothes to the temple. Do you see that O1 took several years to make the relatives and devotees accept wearing white clothes to the temple voluntarily? It's not easy. There must be old things. It can't be forced. O1 has to use that method. Therefore, now everything seems to be ready to help O1. The opposite side is the devil. O6 has taken the beachhead here and claimed O1 without any reason. Therefore, there are only people who are deluded. In making merit, they do it with delusion because they don't have knowledge of the Dhamma. Whoever tells them to do it, they just know that O1 told them to do it, so they do it. People who think like this are victims. That is, being a meritorious person or not. No, just being an investor, being careless. It is not strange to be deceived into making merit until losing all your money but not getting any merit. Now, 6 years have passed. O1's children are about to run out of the merit that used to bring good results in many years that they did during O1's time. They have also thrown away all the merit immediately when they went to do things with the sinful side. The merit has run out many times already. Every time you go to receive the black magic current from there where there is no germ, and you apply to put a gold plate with your name, you intend to be their disciple. So you will get the black magic germ in full. If you do it only 3 times, you will be a permanent disciple of black magic. So where will the merit be left? This is the most depressing thing, that O1 does not know what to do. I have done my duty for the past 6 years to tell O1's children. Even though I do not go to the temple, I also voluntarily will not go, because if I go, I will not be able to do these things. If I go, I will be brainwashed into not accepting, knowing, or believing in the things that the dragon signal gives. I would rather not go. At least, what the dragon said is consistent with the reason that O1 used to teach me. I have something to believe that the dragon is the real O1 because reason is not superstition. Therefore, I have taken all of my thoughts to give weight to. Please consider it. And let this information reach the hearts of O1's children. Don't let the World Protection Day 40,000 temples be successful. Let's pray that it will not be successful. Don't let anyone come or have to return to the truth. Don't be in delusion. And practice Dhamma. Think of the old merit that O1 used to invite you to do. Then you will get back the old merit and be a force for O1 to use Dhammakaya to refine and fix the pagoda again. Refining that I couldn't help them in time. They must come to join the merit making that day with faith. O1 will have the power to help them not to be drugged. It's a very big matter. I will have to find a way to obstruct them. If we go against the government, it's like we are on the side of the devil, preventing them from getting merit, right? 40,000 temples is a great merit. Are you going to tell us not to do it? Are you going to tell us not to come? How irritating. If you think that way, it's irritating. But you have to think another way. It's the opposite. When the temple led by O6 is doing things that are the opposite of what O1's right view does, should you still do it to them? You have to think about this first. And the people who come to stop you from joining must be on O1's side. Because if you are on O1's side and you're not in the temple, that means what the temple does is not on O1's side. So just looking at it is enough? Can you understand it like this? It's simple. Don't covet superficial things because your merit is all gone now. Your merit is all gone to the point that O1 has no more or less strength to help anyone. In the group of O1's children, but O1 is in other groups, so there is other people's merit. That doesn't mean that O1's Dhamma knowledge can't do anything. O1 can still do it. Still saving the world, solving disasters in other groups, other teams that O1 works with. But O1 loves his children and has been with this group his entire life. More than 50 years. Not just for a few years, but for almost his whole life. Then suddenly you want O1 to abandon them or let them go according to karma. That's not the suppression side. O1 still wants to fight to help his children. But it's not the kind of help that his children only want to take. The children must be able to help themselves as well. They must have merit within themselves first. They can't still be on the dark side and ask O1 for help. That's impossible. Everyone must also follow the principles of the subject. Those who create merit in the era of the Buddha, who are wisdom advisors, must use a lot of wisdom. If you choose to be faithful in a way that is not this era, it's not like that. Therefore, you have to be very careful. I can only review this to emphasize that the 2 clips you listened to before are true stories, and I would like you to find a way to help according to your ability. Whoever can go talk to Luang Fai Mu, please go talk to him. Go check for me whether Abbot Mu is addicted to black magic or not. Because Abbot Mu is a person who is loyal to O1, Grandma Chan, and Luang Pusat. If someone brings all this information to Abbot Mu, let's think about it from the other side. If black magic really happened to kill people through the air, would Abbot Mu be able to take responsibility? If 40,000 temples all over Thailand gathered at the Dharma Square that day, more than 100,000 people that night, as targeted, what would Abbot Mu do? Because Abbot Mu himself would not survive either. Because the people who can be killed by black magic are people who have been hit by black magic no less than 3 times. And in the year 2019 until now, how many big new projects has O6 done black magic? You don't know. Now, if anyone can go check whether Abbot Mu is addicted to black magic or not. Take this true story and tell him and see his attitude. If you wave your hand and don't listen, it means you've been completely under a spell. There's no way you can reason with someone because O2 has already become one of O6's people. Now, if Abbot Mu also goes, the whole team will be gone. No one has the merit to help anyone. There is no cure, so we must survive. Let's help tell those who are going to join the seminars not to join. It's not that I'm blocking your merit, but I'm blocking you from committing sin. If anyone has doubts and asks what sin is, they have to come and listen. Let them listen to the last 2 to 3 clips, the UG.68.1 to 68.5 and 68.4 clips that are being talked about right now. They should have enough intelligence to think of something. I'll leave it at this for now. It's the real concern of O1. That O1 gave a signal through a real expert for me to tell everyone more like this. I would like to rejoice in the merit of those who understand correctly, and those who intend to help their friends. Help O1's children, help Buddhists all over the country to survive as much as everyone can. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.